Play the lottery with Jackpocket. What's Jackpocket? Jackpocket is the lottery app that lets you play New Jersey lottery games right on your phone. People have won over $5 million playing the lottery on Jackpocket. Download Jackpocket and get a free Mega Millions ticket using promo code CASH. Jackpocket. Play the New Jersey lottery on your phone. Must be 18 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please visit jackpocket.com/TOS for full terms of service.
Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Short & Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas, and Orange Theory Fitness.
From Commander's Palace Restaurant in the Garden District in New Orleans, we're out to lunch with Peter Asciutti. Peter Asciutti is Tulane University's A.B. Freeman School of Business professor and director of the award-winning Birkenroad Reports. It's business, New Orleans style.
Hi, I'm Peter Asciutti. Welcome to Out to Lunch. We've known for some time that we have an obesity problem in America. Over the years, we've come up with diets of every type and flavor you can imagine, but as a nation, we're not getting slimmer or healthier. We've tried to lay the blame for our overweight and ill health on many things, including carbs, fats, processed foods. Lately, we've come to lay the blame on sugar. A few years ago, food and drink manufacturers started offering products made with low sugar or no sugar or sugar alternatives. Most of these products have been met with consumer resistance because either they don't taste good or the sugar substitute is a synthetic chemical that is perceived as worse for you overall than sugar. The Holy Grail is going to be an all-natural sugar substitute that is equal in taste to sugar and can be used in equal quantities of sugar, but has 0 calories. Well, I hope you're sitting down, because I'm going to tell you that not only does this product exist, but the company that has created it is right here in New Orleans. It's called Swerve. It's in 4,000 stores across America, and it's just getting warmed up. Andrus Blackwell is president and CEO of Swerve Sweetener. Andrus, welcome to Out to Lunch.
Oh, thanks so much, Peter. So excited to be here.
It's possible that you've already heard of Swerve. It's almost certain that you've heard of Sweet and Low or Stevia. It's all very well to have a great idea or even a world-beating product the world is searching for, but if you're here in New Orleans, how do you get the word to the rest of the world? And how do you beat back competition from vested interests with very deep pockets? One way is to team up with an inventive branding, marketing, and advertising agency who are local but know how to compete beyond Louisiana. Like, for example, Trumpet Advertising. Trumpet was founded in 1997. Today they have up to 30 employees in their mid-city headquarters, and like the musical instrument it's named after, Trumpet Advertising is universal but with a distinctly New Orleans sensibility. Scott Couvion is a principal at Trumpet Advertising. He's been there since 2004. Scott, welcome Out to Lunch.
Thanks for having us.
Andrus, if things go the way Hollywood or maybe Trumpet would write your story, you'll end up saving the world from obesity and ill health, and your good deeds will turn you into a billionaire. Before we get to the middle and end of this story, let's go back to the beginning. Who discovered Swerve, and what exactly is it?
So we started out as a sweetener that we created, my former business partner and I, for a protein shake. So if you think about it, back in the early days of protein shakes, they were really sweetened with artificial sweeteners. You've mentioned that that's been very prevalent in the past when it comes to manufacturing products. And we wanted to do something better. We also wanted to make it taste really good, and it was focused on women who would need to have additional protein in their diets. And so it had to taste good. We created this blend of ingredients that became the sweetener in our protein shake, and it tasted so good we decided, wow, this sweetener needs its own presence, and we started bagging it on its own as well.
Now, where am I going to see it? I know you're in a lot of grocery stores and such. When will I first see it? Will it be in a little single serving packet or?
You know, I love that you asked that because most people think of sugar substitutes being in the little bitty packets. You see them on the restaurant table as well. We actually focus on baking and cooking, and so people use us by the cupful. That's something that's very unique about Swerve. It measures just like sugar. So yes, you can absolutely find it in little individual sachets, the packets, but people generally buy us by the bag.
So if it said a cup of sugar, it's going to be
You use a cup of Swerve. Absolutely.
Scott, most of us have a rudimentary idea of how advertising agencies work. We understand that a smart guy like you comes up with the marketing stuff we remember, like the Geico Gecko or the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world, but we don't have any idea of how you create these campaigns. Maybe you could explain that to us. Suppose, for example, I'm just making this up, but you're sitting across the table from somebody who has a company that makes a holy grail product everybody's been looking for, an all-natural sugar substitute called Swerve. What are the first questions you'd ask Anders?
Well, I mean, I think the question is I think, confirming the delta that we're in our industry. So in the 20th century, marketers were really in this interruption model where we tried to reach as many people as we could for as little amount of money as possible, and we interrupted them over and over and over again with frequently delivered television commercials, and we tried to, supplant or implant this purchase intent, and today there's still plenty of marketers that are doing that, but the examples that you mentioned, the Geicos and the
Dos Equis
spokespeople are still teeing off on this, not antiquated, it's still very present, but a very different approach to marketing. I wouldn't say new approach because it's been around for a couple of years, but marketers are still trying to wrap their heads around exactly how to use it, is being much more purposeful in your marketing approach and less about repetition and interruption.
So is this kind of focusing on market segments?
Well, that's part of it, but no, I think it's even further upstream than that. It's less about how do I create the best interruption tactic and to whom do I narrowcast that interruption to, which aren't bad conversations. That's creative, that's segmenting, that's all the things that modern marketers need to be doing. But the first question that I would ask anyone who is coming to an ad agency, specifically one like ours, is what is it that your company believes in? Because if you engineer everything backwards from a reach and frequency model, you're going to be, in mass media. And hopefully, if you get lucky and you get a great commercial that gains cultural relevance, like the most interesting man in the world, then it'll be a campaign that makes you a whole lot of money. But it's a formula that's getting more and more and more tried and less and less and less.
So you're doing it kind of backwards from that.
Well, I mean, I think we'd say we're doing it exactly right.
They're doing it backwards. Okay.
And I would say, so if someone like a Swerve comes into Trumpet, and I can say this with a straight face because it's similar to some of the conversations that we would have had in the past, or that we're having with our clients every day. When you can. If you can't articulate what it is that you believe in as a company, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean you don't have a belief. It just means that you're initiating your conversations farther downstream than where we would want to be initiating the conversation. The interesting thing about Swerve is just innate in the product, and certainly innate in the people that are bringing that product to market. There's purpose in that product. It solves a very specific need in the marketplace, and whether that was narrowcasted to the segment of diabetics and then it became something and then it became something is a tactic that you're going to have. That's a tactical conversation you're going to have eventually. But the primary question that I'd ask is, what is it that you believe? And is
that a different question than I'm going to create a story around you?
I think the story can be how you take a belief and capture it and bring it to market. Yep. But a story absent a moral is a way to get kids to go to sleep. So
that's helpful too.
Yeah.
But now, how are you marketing and selling Swerve?
Well, we actually work with Trumpet, and so they ask this very specific question, and
not Scott specifically.
Not Scott specifically, but one of his counterparts there at Trumpet, and it really does start with, why do we even exist as a company, and why did we create this product? Did we create it just to sell something and make money, or did we create it as a tool for individuals? And that's really the way we look at it, Peter, is that we want people to understand about blood sugar, that if you balance your blood sugar and if you stabilize blood sugar, you have better energy levels all the time. You're a better wife, a better partner, a better husband, a better coworker. All of the time you have better weight management. And so Swerve's just a tool in the toolbox for better blood sugar management. That's really what it's all about. It's about education. And so with working with Trumpet as an example is, if they understand that's our purpose in the world, is to help educate people about better blood sugar, then our message becomes quite clear. And it's just about going to those audiences that we together have identified that would be interested in that. Could it be the diabetic population? Could it be people who are just wanting to make proactive health decisions? So we came up with the want to haves and the need to haves. And that's exactly how we've designed all of our messaging out as far as marketing goes.
And who are you selling to? Is it people, or I know you're trying to get shelf space in grocery stores. Do you look at those two markets differently?
I think of them as exactly the same. I think that anybody who makes a buying decision, be it a Whole Foods Market, be it a Sprouts, be it Walmart, Kroger, that those are still consumers. They're still consuming food products, and they still have a need for certain things in their life. So that's who I'm talking to, is on a consumer level. So yes, we're trying to obviously get on the retail shelves. It's all about being able to make products convenient for people to purchase. That's probably the hardest part as a startup company, is you want to go out there and spread your message, but then people don't have a place to purchase it. Now the internet has obviously changed that quite a bit. But yes, we're still now, you said 4,000 stores. I'm going to correct you.
Yeah.
It's actually around 8,000 now.
Wow. And,
so
you've now
really
got
excited.
inquiries from some company I've never heard of in Arkansas, Walmart.
Those, yeah, we'll be going onto on the shelf in Walmart in certain locations, probably between 750 and 1,000 locations in the summer. So we're really excited about that.
That is great. Where did the name Swerve come from? It sounds like a kind of a sneaky pitch that's a pitcher would throw.
It's true story. So we were trying to decide, what do we want to call this? It needs to be something fun. It doesn't need to sound pharmaceutical. So I literally picked up the dictionary, opened it up, and there was the word swerve, and it said moving in a fast direction away from something. And wow, we're swerving away from sugar. So it just became so evident, but literally it was opening up the dictionary, and there it was.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Andrus Blackwell from Swerve Sweetener, the all-natural sugar substitute, and Scott Kuvion from the ad agency Trumpet Advertising. We'll be right back after this very brief break.
Play the lottery with Jackpocket. What's Jackpocket? Jackpocket is the lottery app that lets you play New Jersey lottery games right on your phone. People have won over $5 million playing the lottery on Jackpocket. Download Jackpocket and get a free Mega Millions ticket using promo code CASH. Jackpocket. Play the New Jersey lottery on your phone. Must be 18 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please visit jackpocket.com/TOS for full terms of service.
Give your mornings a remix with a delicious new Beyond Sausage Sandwich from Dunkin'.
Say what?
It's a tasty Beyond Meat sausage patty with egg and cheese, all on an English muffin.
Oh, yeah!
That's 10 grams of great-tasting plant-based protein.
Great taste plant-based? Wait, it's plant-based?
Yeah, it's plant-based. And it tastes great.
Yummy!
Try Dunkin's Beyond Sausage Sandwich. It's a whole new way to start the day. America runs on Dunkin'.
Choose Empire and get free or low-cost benefits for the whole family. Pay little to nothing from baby's first checkup to filling your prescriptions, all the way to yearly dental exams. Trust Empire Health Plans for your family. Click or tap the banner to learn more. To learn more about applying for health insurance, including Medicaid, Child Health Plus, Essential Plan, and qualified health plans through New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace, visit www.nystateofhealth.ny.gov or call 1-855-355-5777.
Brought to you by nationalpolldata.org. The impeachment of President Trump has ended with his total acquittal, and now the 2020 campaign is heating up. Do you think President Trump should serve 4 more years? Go to TrumpVote65.com to cast your vote. According to Gallup, President Trump's approval rating is at its highest since he took office 3 years ago. 63% of all Americans approve of his handling of the economy, which is the highest economic approval rating for any president since the months directly following September 11th. However, the country is almost perfectly divided about the election and whether they'll vote for President Trump, regardless of the Democratic nominee. Where do you stand? Go to TrumpVote65.com to cast your vote if President Trump should serve 4 more years. The Democratic impeachment failed and is finally behind us. But should President Trump be reelected? Go to TrumpVote65.com and cast your vote. That's TrumpVote65.com. TrumpVote65.com.
Fresh cracked egg, sausage, melty cheese, and a toasty English muffin.
Honey? I appreciate you repainting our living room, but you're so into your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with egg, you've also painted the sofa, and the fish tank, and the cat.
Teal does bring out Mr. Pickle's eyes.
Right now, buy any size McCafe Premium Roast Coffee Sausage McMuffin with egg or McChicken biscuit and get one for $1. Price and participation may vary, valid for item of equal or lesser value for a limited time.
You're listening to Out to Lunch. I'm Peter Raschuti. I'm talking with Andrus Blackwell from Swerve Sweetener, the all-natural sugar substitute, and Scott Kuvion from the ad agency Trumpet Advertising. Scott, I got to ask you a question. How do you advertise yourself?
Well, I would say we're no different than Swerve. The reality is that if we're, a fair question is if we're asking companies every day, what is it that you believe in? A fair question is, what do we believe in? And we practice exactly what we preach. So, our belief is that business is a good thing, that you don't need to apologize for making money. You don't have to be a non-profit to get into heaven.
A lot of people have been asking. This is great. We cleared it up right here on the show.
But the reality is that that when that is what you believe, then how you behave is going to be different. So I would say that yes, while there are traditional understandings of what advertising agencies are and what they do, and we certainly get painted with that brush, how we sell ourselves is really the delineation between us and our approaches and the belief and the approaches of other advertising agencies. Because the reality is that the preponderance of advertising dollars and advertising energy is being spent way downstream from the purpose of the organization, the belief of the organization. And that's okay, unless, like us, that your sales go up, your affinity rankings go up, your sentiment, your confidence, your repurchase, your advocacy, all of those things go up when brands are able to align with consumers on the basis of belief, not speed or price or any of the things that 99% of advertising is talking about every day.
What are you doing day to day?
Now I'm a strategist. I'm a brand strategist. So Trumpet focuses primarily, all of our energy, certainly all of our overhead, is focused in three areas of advertising. It's strategy, it's creative, and it's technology. Those are the three pieces that we've identified as the most non-transferable, the absolute you got to get those right in order for everything else to work. We don't buy media. We don't do public relations. Because the reality is if we're working with a Swerve, that media buy should be more specific to consumer packaged goods than it would necessarily work for a bank.
That alone, Scott, is different. Most ad agencies would probably do that whole gamut, right?
Absolutely. And I've worked, all of us at Trumpet have worked somewhere else, which frankly informed the perspective that we bring, to bear at Trumpet. And the reality is that in every agency that I've worked in, whether it's a 400-person global shop or a 100-person local shop, if you have a media department or you have a PR group, and that discipline is led by a director with a perspective on that craft, over time your hospital media buy looks like your bank media buy, looks like your consumer packaged goods media buy, and it's not a failing of individuals, it's just habit.
Are you loaded with hip young people?
We're loaded with hip young people.
That's what I always
thought.
But
the reality is by not having media and not having things like PR under roof, we can bring those assets to bear that are most appropriate for a hospital or a financial institution. And a credit union is different than a for-profit bank. So this elasticity allows us to have our core competencies where we think they need to be. And not that media and PR is unimportant, but it is the more commoditized part of our industry.
And Ash, what do you do day to day? Just taste testing and things like that?
I call myself the chief taste tester.
Oh, you do?
How in the world did you know that, Peter? No, it's true. Actually, I really think about vision and strategy and try to lead the team and guide the team. But I still am very involved day to day in sales and how we want to communicate our brand out there in the world. I will tell you, though, these guys created a fantastic branding campaign for us. And really, it's about consistency then, right? We want to put a very consistent message out there. So everything needs to pass through one set of eyes. And so I really work hard on that and ensuring that in everything we do, if it's social media, if it's even just a presentation to a retail partner, that consistency flows through everything. And I think as a small company, and especially when you have a small team like we do, it's really easy for your team to be going out there and everybody being on a different page, and for consistency to kind of be all over the place. And so we have to be very mindful and thoughtful about that.
And Scott, Andrus, she's got this really well thought out, and she's your client and such, but there must be other people that come in with ideas that just aren't good. And
it never happens, right?
No,
How
do you handle that?
I'll tell you, the times, the most problematic for us as an enterprise is if the relationship is so tactical and there's never been a conversation about the strategic. Those are relationships that don't go very well. I would say what our clients have in common is not that they're all tourism clients or that they're all banks or they're all, consumer packaged goods clients. But what they all agree on is that purpose is, if not more, as important as product in the advertising conversation. So that's what our clients have in common. So I would yes, there are a ton of bad ideas out there. And we don't believe that all money is green, but the reality is that if you're at a company whose product is just wretched or doing bad in the world, even worse, than not working, is doing something harmful. We got a call from R.J. Reynolds years ago because we were having such great effect with anti-tobacco campaigns. They actually called us to see if we would consider working for a tobacco company. So
just when you were so close to getting people to heaven,
exactly. And the reality is that as owners, we didn't do it. We didn't pursue it for probably more moral reasons than fiscal ones. I guarantee you, there's more money from R.J. Reynolds than from the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. But regardless, I think that those products that are, when there's a marketing approach that is solely tactical, it's fine. You got to get to tactics at some point. But if you haven't had those strategic upstream decisions first, those tactics are destined to become something inefficient, uneconomical, or truly for your share of voice or share of market to get displaced by the fact that you were selling fast and cheap and somebody else faster and cheaper came along. I mean, those things are going to happen. And a brand allows you to withstand competition, but no brand, you're dead in the water. As soon as somebody's cheaper, you're done. Your promise to the marketplace has been eviscerated.
Andres, I have a question for you. As a business prof, I guess this is kind of a nerdy question, but you have had this growth, but you've basically done it through internal cash flow. You haven't expanded so quickly. You haven't made the mistakes a lot of people have made where you kind of outgrow your infrastructure, your supply chain. How have you had that discipline?
That's been one of the hardest challenges. Peter, people want to see you putting new products out there, but honestly, our team is so in line with one another on not doing that. It does take tremendous discipline. As a small company, you find that there are a lot of them that don't even have budgets in place. And we are very, very determined to make sure that we have a budget, that we follow that budget. When I was like 10 or 12 years old, I wanted to go to the beach on a church trip, and my dad said, well, in order for you to get some money to go on your church trip, I'm 10 years old, he said, you're going to need to put a budget together for me, and so I know exactly how much money you need for your trip. And I had to write T-shirt, souvenir, lunch, and so forth. And so from that very time, I realized it does take discipline. And the people who are disciplined doesn't mean you always win, but you certainly have a much better opportunity. And so we really are very conscious about not overspending. We pay ourselves very modest wages because we want to put that money back into the company in order to grow it. And just like you said, you need cash flow in order to buy raw materials. And so we have these new products that we're getting ready to launch, some new bake mixes, and we basically saved our money in order to do that. We're not some big conglomerate that has this infusion of capital that's coming in for us to launch all of these new products. We had to be disciplined. And so it's exciting, and there's some fulfillment just in that part itself, and being able to go out there and do it on your own like that.
And one of the most amazing things about New Orleans is that for a relatively small city in a southern state, we have a disproportionate number of fascinating, creative people and extraordinarily interesting businesses. If you were in any doubt about that, Andres and Scott, this conversation with you has illustrated why we're one of America's most popular cities to start and grow a business. It's been great to meet you. Thank you both for taking the time to join me today on Out to Lunch. My guests on Out to Lunch today have been Andres Blackwell, President and CEO of Swerve Sweetener, and Scott Couvion, principal at Trumpet Advertising. You can find out more about Swerve and Trumpet by following the links on our website, itsneworleans.com. The producer of our show is Grant Morris, our technical producer is Eric Merle, and our researcher is Maggie Mendel. You can listen to this show and get past episodes of Out to Lunch wherever you get podcasts and at itsneworleans.com. If you want to know what we look like, you can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and It's New Orleans Facebook page. The photos were taken today by Jill LaFleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. Out to Lunch is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com and WWNO 89.9 FM. I'm Peter Raschuti. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to meeting you again next week around the table here at Commander's Palace for more business, New Orleans style, on Out to Lunch.
Out to Lunch is recorded live over lunch at Commander's Palace in New Orleans. Commander's Palace serves lunch Monday to Friday, jazz brunch on Saturday and Sunday with live music, and dinner 7 nights a week. Mitchell Foreman wrote and performs all the music on Out to Lunch. You can hear Mitchell's music anywhere great jazz is sold or streamed, and at mitchellforeman.com. Major support for Out to Lunch is provided by the law firm of Jones Walker, established in 1937 with over 375 attorneys in offices throughout the U.S., providing a comprehensive range of services to a local, national, and international client base. JonesWalker.com. And by Short & Associates, legal recruiters in Louisiana and Texas. And by Basics Swim and Gym and Basics Underneath Fine Lingerie, the It's New Orleans Happy Hour podcast. And by Orange Theory Fitness, delivering fitness results for a healthier world.
Play the lottery with Jackpocket. What's Jackpocket? Jackpocket is the lottery app that lets you play New Jersey lottery games right on your phone. People have won over $5 million playing the lottery on Jackpocket. Download Jackpocket and get a free Mega Millions ticket using promo code CASH. Jackpocket. Play the New Jersey lottery on your phone. Must be 18 or older to play. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please visit jackpocket.com/TOS for full terms of service.